Hello everyone, welcome back to Data Analysis YouTube channel. So in this particular tutorial, we will be going through the if formula and we will use up to 5-6 examples to show us how to use the if formula. And just to mention that if you're a new subscriber or if you're a new visitor to this YouTube channel, please do well to subscribe. Subscribe to this YouTube channel because we are committed to explaining Microsoft Excel in very basic ways, in very easy to understand ways. And of course, you can apply it to your everyday work. So please subscribe, like the content, and drop a comment in the comment section. And of course, you can reach out to me if you need one-on-one coaching on Microsoft Excel. I am available to provide that service as well. And please do well to share the link with your friends and your colleagues as well so that they can learn. Then if you're a returning subscriber, welcome. This particular video will be very interesting because we're going into the if function. The link to the practice file that will be used for this particular tutorial is in the description box. So please go to the description box and download the practice file so that you can practice as you learn, as you watch the YouTube video, so that you can gain mastery of the if function and you can better understand how to use the if function. So let us get started. What is the if function basically? So the if function is one of the functions in Microsoft Excel that is really dynamic, and you can use it to tell Excel basically what you want. You can give Excel an instruction. And the if function is divided into 3 parts. Okay, the first part is the logical test, which is like the baseline. Okay, you're telling Excel this is the logical test, and the second part of the if function is telling Excel that if my logical test is true, then give me this value. And if the third part of the if function is the false, what Excel will give you if your logical test is false. So 3 parts I mentioned. You have the logical test, and then you have the value Excel will show you if your logical test is true, and then you have the value that Excel will show you if your logical test is false. Okay, so this is what the if function does. For example, so let's put it in context. For example, for this particular fictitious company, it's a company that is implementing projects around empowering people with livelihood skills. Okay, and the livelihood skills is in 3 areas. It's in agriculture, it's in digital skills, and also in catering, just like we can see in column E. And all the expenses that is made towards ensuring that these particular project is undertaken. Okay, all the expenses is recorded in one file. Okay, just like we have here. So we have expenses for agriculture, we have expenses for digital skills, we have expenses for catering. Okay, and then of course the column C shows us the list of expenses. So I'm just going to change this one to expenses so that it is more straightforward. And we have the list of expenses, right? And just in case I'm interested to know how many of these expenses are above a certain threshold. Okay, I just want to see out of curiosity how many of these expenses are above a certain threshold. I can get this information using the if function. Okay, and how do I do this? So let us get started. With every other functions in Excel, before you enter a formula or a function, you need to start with the equal to sign. And I just type here if, and I open the bracket. So my logical test is, I want to know, okay, which of the expenses in column C, okay, is above 100,000. But I am not going to highlight the entire column C. I will start from C2, okay, because this is the if function is specific to a particular cell. And I'm going to type this, greater than 100,000. You can notice that in the 100,000, while I was typing that, I did not put a comma, because when you're having a function, okay, and you put a comma, the comma is a separator to show you that you're now going to the next stage of the description of what the formula wants you to do, or what the function wants you to do. So if I put a comma, it takes me to the next stage. This is why the 100,000 is without the comma. Please take note of this. And what is the value if it is true? So I'm going to say if C2 is greater than 100,000, okay, give me 1. Otherwise, give me 0. Okay, so this is what I have. And of course, C2 is greater than 100,000, and Excel has given me a 1 just like I told it to do. And if I am interested to know if all the values in column C, okay, if I want to apply this if function command to other cells in column C, all I need to do is that I hover my mouse, okay, around this column G2 that has been selected, and the intersection, the lower right intersection of the cell, okay, when you hover around it, you're going to see that the sign of your mouse pointer will change to this small dark cross, and then you double click on your mouse, and then it would apply the function to all the cells where you have information in column C. And this is what I have. So by looking at this, sorry about that, I can just see that, of course, cell C3 is also higher than 100,000. This is why I have 1. Cell C4 is lower than 100, it's less than 100,000, so I have a 0. Okay, so I'm just going to put here greater than 100,000 because we want to do various, we want to apply this in various ways. So this is what we have. And then, of course, if you're very curious to know, right, you can, of course, activate the filter button to everything that you have here. And when you filter, you see you just have 0 and 1. And I can select only the ones, and I see this. Okay, so just to double check, all the ones that have been selected, if you do a quick check on column C, you're going to see that it was applicable to Excel, okay, responded with a 1 for only cells that are above 100,000 in column C. This is amazing. So we are going to go to another example right away. So I am going to tell Excel, what if I am interested to know if C2 is greater than or equals to 100,000? Because you might have this condition as well. So all I need to do, I type in the equals to sign, I type if, open the bracket, and I do the same. If C2 is greater than or equal to 100,000, I put the comma, the value if true is 1, otherwise give me a 0. I close my bracket, okay, and I double click on the intersection, so it takes me down to the last cell. It has applied the formula to all the cells in column C, and then I have this. So if I am interested to know if any of the value in column C is equals to 100,000. So how about that? I just want to know Excel, just let me know, okay, if any of the values there is equal to 100,000, okay. So this is what I did. For this one, when I typed equal to 100,000, Excel recognized that as if I was going to enter a formula or I was going to type a function. And you can notice that the equal to sign is not visible, but you can see it in the formula bar. So if I want to make the equal to sign visible, I just need to put the an inverted comma before the equal to sign, and now my equal to sign is visible. I am going to do Format Painter so that I apply the blue color to column I1, cell I1 instead. So I'm going to do this equal to, if open the bracket, I want to know if C2 is exactly equal to 100,000. Give me a 1 if it is true, and give me 0 if it is false. So it's not equal to 100,000, so I have a 0, right? And I take it down. Okay. So I'm going to use, so far we've been doing we've been using 1 and 0 for the true and false, for the true or false command. So let us try to use yes and no and see how this works. So I'm going to use the same examples, right? 100,000. So I'm going to say if C2, if C2 instead, if it is greater than 100,000. I hope I'm correct. Oh yeah, I'm correct. Give me a yes. Otherwise, give me a no. Now you can see that before typing the yes, I had to put it in quotation marks. And this is because yes is a text and the if function is a values function, it's not a text function. So every time you're using a values function and then you want to integrate text into a values function, you need to convert the value, you need to convert the text rather to a number. And how to do this with Microsoft Excel is to put it in quotation marks, just like I have done. And then I hit the enter button, and this is what I have. Okay, and then I'm going to do for the next one, if it's greater than or equal to 100,000. Now I'm using a lot of examples because for Microsoft Excel, one of the tricks you need to know is that for you to master Microsoft Excel, you need to try your hands on as much examples as possible. This is how you will gain mastery of Microsoft Excel and you will become very super comfortable with it. Okay, especially if you're a beginner. So I'm going to do if it's greater than or equal to 100,000, give me a yes. Otherwise, give me a no. And I'll close the bracket, and then I have the same thing. And then the next one is equal to, so I'm just going to first of all put the inverted comma before I type the 100,000 so that the equal to sign will be visible. So if this is equal to 100,000, give me a yes. Otherwise, give me a no. And I close the bracket. And this is what I've got. Okay, and I'm going to take it down to the last. So this is the basic tutorial that we're going to talk about today about the if formula. And I tell you, if you try out all these options, it's going to stick with you and you're going to really understand how to use the if function, right? So in our next tutorial, we will talk about sum if and sum ifs. And the sum if formula builds on the if. The sum if function rather builds on the if function, and this is why we had to go with the if function first before going into sum if. And then we'll go into sum ifs, and then we'll go to the other ifs that we have, and it's going to get even more interesting. So if you like this content, please give us a thumbs up, drop a comment in the comment section. Like I mentioned earlier, the link to this practice file will be in the description box. So please do well to download and try out all these examples that we have given so far so that you can master the if function. And then when we come to for the next video where we will do the sum if, it will be super easy to understand. Thank you for stopping by, and please do well to share this link with your friends as well. See you in the next video. Bye bye.